Stafford and Matthews, episode 1. It feels like it's been coming for a long time now. The NFL season is just right around the corner. We're recording on Tuesday. The debut of the season is Thursday. Our debut comes out tomorrow, Wednesday. And with me, as always, my man, former Seahawk, former Raven, the reason that Kyle Arrington can't sleep at night, the reason Brandon Bostic's out of a job, Chris Matthews. Chris, how you doing?
Ladies and gentlemen? What's going on? How you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited, man. This is going to be a great spin-off show for us on the Baby With You family. We're super excited you're here, and I'm ready to just get into this. I'm ready to just put the content out there for everyone and just kind of just get spitting.
Definitely, man. I've been telling all my friends and my family members, man, you guys got to check this out. Check this show out because it's going to be amazing. I'm telling you, I've been dreaming about this, to be honest with you. It feels like football all over again, but instead I'm just sitting on the couch, chilling now.
Exactly. A little bit more laid back, but still a lot of fun.
You know?
So this is titled our Power Ranking Specials for a reason. We're going to go down the line. Me and Chris's Power Ranks, we actually released them a couple days ago. We were too excited to not share them with you, but now we're going to give our reasoning behind it. I got a lot of hate for mine. You got a lot of hate for yours.
I got a lot of hate, but then I got a lot of positivity as well. I got a lot of positivity. You know, you always got to look on the brighter side of things.
Exactly. I'm with you. All right. So we're going to start with mine, I think.
All right.
Let's start with mine.
Yeah, let's go. Right. Let's see. This is going to be debatable. All
right. Should we start from the bottom up or the top up? What are you thinking?
Let's go bottom up.
Let's go bottom up. All right. At number 32, no one wants to be here, but someone has to be. The Washington football team, formerly the Washington Redskins.
Okay.
There's not a lot of explanation down here. All right. To be honest with you, there's not. Dwayne Haskins, I don't have a lot of faith in Dwayne Haskins yet. I mean, he may prove me wrong, but I just don't have the faith there. Shout out to Alex Smith, first of all, coming back from a tremendous injury.
Definitely.
Joe Theismann-esque, and just, persevering. He could have just said, you know what, I'm done. I'm stay home with my family, just recover. No, he's grinding to get back on that field.
We know a lot of people that have done that.
Exactly. And I want to see – it's a little bit interesting dynamic there to see if Haskins struggles early, whether or not we see the former Pro Bowl quarterback. So it'll be interesting to see how that dynamic kind of goes with them.
I don't really see too much with Haskins, but, I mean, he could prove us wrong, so we can go on to the next one.
Yeah, I don't really see anything there as well. Also, they released Adrian Peterson. They had a Darius Geis little assault incident as well. So they're really in the doghouse. They're in the shitter. So I have them at 32.
Yeah.
All right. 31, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Minshew Mania. I'm a huge Gardner Minshew guy, and I know a lot of people don't like him. They're pegging the Jaguars as the quote-unquote Trevor Lawrence team. But you know what? I don't think they get it because I think Gardner Minshew is so against this tanking season that he'll have one win above the Redskins just to say, screw you, Jaguars. I want one more season at the head of this helm. And they have a lot of talent down in Duval. I know they've gutted the roster very recently, actually, with the departure, of course, Leonard Fournette, who actually ended up going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And for a reason I really can't understand, because their understanding to me was, hey, we have Chris Thompson. We're good at running back. Maybe if you're playing fantasy, but not if you're in the NFL.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's crazy to me too. But
they're another one. I'm like, it's just I'm just on the fence with them. There's somebody that can just keep on going.
Exactly. All right, at number 30, my roommate's favorite team, the New York Jets. Now, I'm actually a big Sam Darnold guy, believe it or not. Being a Patriots fan, I've seen him, up close and personal, live. I have season tickets. I've seen him up close. And he makes a lot of tremendous throws, but also a lot of stupid bonehead throws. And that's kind of a common theme with these young AFC East guys like Josh Allen. Granted, Adam Gase has done nothing to help him out, hasn't drafted offensive line up until this very year. And she's never had really a bona fide number one receiver really ever during his tenure in the NFL. So it'll be interesting dynamic to see whether or not Darnold can thrive without a legitimate number one receiver, out there in New York.
I think he can. I think it's just a lot of growing pains that these young guys have to go through at the time, at this time. And, unfortunately, it's a lot of bad, with a little bit of good right now. But I feel like, if they just keep on pushing through, they'll figure it out. I mean, as far as, them getting a better offensive line for them first and foremost, besides that, I feel like they will have a great time out there, and he'll be able to make something happen. You don't really need a number one receiver to prove that you're, the best team out there.
That's true. I agree with you there. I think my main concern, like you said, is the offensive line. They did address it this draft with Mekhi Becton, with CeeDee Lamb still on the board, which kind of surprised me. I think it surprised a lot of people as well. And Mekhi Becton is not necessarily the best fit for their scheme. I don't think he's a very
No.
big, athletic guy, but his
Yeah.
technique leaves a lot to be desired as of right
Yeah.
now. So it'll
But
be
he can definitely get that work. It's a lot of great people in that organization that can get him right.
yeah, and a good running back stable, to say the least. Le'Veon Bell
Exactly.
poised for a breakout season again, a nice bounce back, maybe a comeback player of the year candidate.
I have him on my fantasy.
Yeah, so we'll see him down the line.
I believe in him.
At 29, the Detroit Lions.
Mhm.
Matthew Stafford, Uncle Matt, as I like to call him, criminally underrated. This guy is criminally underrated.
For sure.
Before going down last season and before, these kind of bogus holding calls on Trey Flowers that kind of derailed their whole season, the Lions were actually looking good. And that's not a sentence you really
They were
hear
on a hot. They was on a hot streak for sure.
They really were, and they have a lot of weapons down there. Kenny Golladay, another guy, underrated.
Exactly.
I understand.
Exactly.
I really do understand the. But seriously, criminally underrated. Kenny Golladay. I think he's a top 10 receiver in my view. I really do think that.
I wouldn't say top 10, but
all right, where are you gonna put him then?
It wouldn't be in the top 10. It'd probably be somewhere around 15, 20 area.
15, 20 area?
Yeah, 15, 20 area.
I can see that.
Top 10, you have to save that for the elites, and we have a lot of them.
We'll go back and forth on that one, I guess. But I'm gonna trust the former receiver over here.
I'm not budging on that one. I'm not budging.
That's fair. That's fine.
He has, but he could get better. He can get better.
I agree. At 28, I have the New York Giants. Danny Dimes and Saquon Barkley. That's not a bad 1-2 punch right there.
It really is not.
But I think the overall team needs a lot of work. That secondary has been gutted recently, with some off-the-field issues we don't really talk about. And even the release of DeAndre Baker, a former first-round overall, not first overall pick, but a first-round pick. And that team leaves a lot to be desired. Joe Judge, an interesting head coaching hire. Special teams coach out of New England, my boys, the Patriots. And it's kind of interesting.
You're already on board.
I'm already on board, but there's a reason they're at 28 is because the team is lacking significant talent all around the football, receiver especially, and tight end. Yes. I'm a big fan of their tight end out there.
Wait. We can't sit here and say that Sterling Shepard is not a bona fide receiver.
He's a bona fide receiver, but number one, I don't think so.
I just said you don't need a number one.
I agree, but when you have a young quarterback like Danny Dimes, I feel like you need someone to help him, explode into that offense. And yes,
the first year was just a test.
First year's a test. Okay, we'll have to go back and forth again on this one. We have a nice little dynamic going back and forth. I'm going to roast you later. When the Giants suck, I'm going to roast you. I'm telling you.
All right.
And he has Evan Engram, who's basically a receiver in itself. He's the fastest tight end in the league, I think, bona fide by far. But health, he's the new Jordan Reed. Can he stay healthy for a full season to be a Pro Bowl player like he has the potential to be? And I'm not really sure if he has that. He's shown that yet. So it's kind of going to be a back and forth on whether or not they have the talent to succeed.
For sure.
With Daniel Jones. All right, at 27, the Carolina Panthers. Teddy Bridgewater comes back again. Another guy coming back from injury, significant injury, and he walked into a room. And there's very few situations I'd rather walk into than to have Christian McCaffrey in the backfield with me. Very few situations. I'm telling you, Christian McCaffrey is a bona fide superstar. Great running back, top 3 running back, if not number 1. And I wouldn't go as far to say number 1 weapon in the NFL, receiver, running back, across the board. He can do everything well.
Yeah, I remember him in Stanford, and I was just like, this kid is amazing. Like, and he came in the NFL when everybody doubted him. They were trying to tell him to play slot and, just all these crazy things. And he comes out and he's proving everybody wrong. And there's no decrease. He's only increasing as time is going on.
Exactly, and he's only going to get better, I think. But I do worry about one thing. This is called the Le'Veon Bell effect. When you get overworked in your first couple of years, you start to see a lot of lower body injuries, and that significantly changes how you play the position. This is why running backs have not been paid historically, is because they can't stay healthy.
Yeah, that makes sense. They only get one good payday. They really only get one good payday, so that's why when I see those running backs going out there and they're asking for their money, you just got to sit back and let him go. You got to let him fight for it.
I get it. I do get it. But McCaffrey's up for a big payday. He's going to get that bag in a couple seasons. Oh, actually, he already got paid. But, he already got paid again. So we'll see.
Again, I don't know. He has to – if he gets paid again, that means he's doing Barry Sanders. Who else am I thinking of? Jim Brown,
Walter Payton, those kind of guys.
Walter Payton, you're talking about those type of numbers, and if he's doing that, then I have no problem with him getting that.
I agree. All right, coming in at 26, the Chicago Bears. Now, I'm going to clown Chicago a lot on this podcast, and there's a few reasons why. Number one, you bring in Nick Foles with a huge contract, right? On paper, maybe not a bad look, but when you see people like Cam Newton sitting in free agency, even a guy like Colin Kaepernick sitting in free agency, and you look at that and say, hey, first of all, cheaper. Second of all, better.
Yeah.
They're better players. So why are you going after Nick Foles? I don't get me started. Don't get me started this early, Chris. Don't get me started this early. We're at 26.
Hey, man, I like Nick Foles. To be honest with you, I like it. I thought it was a good pickup. Could there have been somebody better? Yes, but they're going with it. I like him.
And you got Allen Robinson out there too. Can't forget that bad boy. Whew.
Can't go wrong without him.
Exactly. Coming in at 25 for me, the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, people are we're kind of shitting on me for this a little bit because I had them a little bit higher than the Bears and the Panthers and everybody. And they were saying, hey, you're putting a lot of faith in Joe Burrow's hands. And you know what? I really am. I'm putting a lot of faith in Joe Burrow.
A lot.
And people are always saying rookie quarterbacks struggle historically. Well, let's look back to last year, right? Kyler Murray wins the Rookie of the Year. And people were saying Josh Jacobs should have won it. Granted, I think you're right. But let's not ignore what Kyler Murray was able to do without an offensive line. Without a legitimate receiving core around him. Larry Fitzgerald, obviously, still productive last year. He's really old. He is really old. The greatest. Top 3 receiver all time, in my book, at least. But when you look at it, he has a lot of wear on those tires. Christian Kirk should have exploded last year. He didn't. Hakeem Butler just got released. He was supposed to be a huge breakout candidate this year. Andy Isabella from the UMass program, which stinks. And he was supposed to be a burner in that offense, and that really never happened either. And then you bring in DeAndre Hopkins. It's a whole different story. But back to the Cincinnati Bengals. I think Joe Burrow has a better season than Kyler Murray had last year. And I say that only because he has a better supporting cast around him than Murray did. Offensive line, already better by default. The Cardinals had one of the worst offensive lines in NFL history last year.
No knock on that.
And you walk into that room with Joe Mixon. Granted, a lot of off-the-field issues. He kind of wiped that away during his NFL career. But this is a bruiser. He wins you football games between the tackles. He's a hard-nosed running back, north-south, but can also make you miss in the open field. So don't discount Joe Mixon in that offense. And, of course, people keep forgetting. I want to forget about Dre. A.J. Green.
Exactly.
A.J. Green, a dominant receiver for the past 8 years.
Sleeper.
A real sleeper. And he shouldn't be a sleeper because he's been a top 5 receiver in the NFL for the past decade. And they are disrespecting A.J. Green.
Injuries do that to you. People forget about a lot of things that you did for the team, and it's a what can you do for me lately type of a deal in the NFL. So I feel where he's coming from, but knowing what the type of player he is, I have no problems that he's going to ball out this year.
Exactly, and a guy like Tyler Boyd even out there who's starting to prove he's
Tyler
a legitimate
Boyd is
number
a special
2.
player. I like him. I really like him. He's a very good player.
Yeah, so he has a lot of weapons around him. Don't sleep on Joey B and the Bengals. Maybe make a wild card race. We'll see towards the end of this power rankings if that actually comes true.
Yeah.
Coming in at 24, the Miami Dolphins. Now, I really like Brian Flores. I really do. I think he's a great head coach. I really think that
Why?
He's a defensive-minded coach that just brought in Byron Jones, Kyle Van Noy, and a slew of other players that are going to make this team very, very competitive. Notice how I say competitive, I don't say good. I say competitive, I don't say good. And now you bring up offense. And they just announced yesterday, or a couple days ago maybe, Ryan Fitzpatrick is now named the starter. This shouldn't be a surprise to anyone because, first of all, 2 is still recovering from his injury. And 2, he's not the brightest bulb in this quarterback class. Let's not pretend that he is, okay? He's the talented player, but not the smartest. And not to mention –
I don't know about that.
All right, we can go back to that. Ryan Fitzpatrick is Mr. September football. He is the best September player I've seen in my life. He fades as soon as October 1st hits the deadline. And he goes downhill from there, but one of the best September players, I think, early season players in general, I've seen in the past, long while. And so I like that the fact they're starting with him, maybe shift the Tua towards the end of the season. But a guy like Devontae Parker, who broke out last year, he's playing against Stephon Gilmore in Week 17 last year. I was at that game. It was embarrassing. He put the number 1 cornerback in the league on blast.
I forgot. What's the weather like in Miami? I forgot.
Pretty hot.
Is it cold? Is it cold or is it hot in September out there?
I think it's probably pretty hot in Miami. Wow. I don't know.
Hey, Well, then I don't know what Foles is talking. I don't know what they're talking about with Magic over there. Then.
Yeah, no, but I love that secondary there with Byron Jones just coming in, and I just think there's a lot of talent on that defensive side of the ball. So don't sleep in Miami. I'm not saying they'll make the playoffs, but I'm saying they're going to be a competitive team, and watch out for them in a couple of years even as as
keep saying that.
I'm just saying. Well, it's the bottom of the board. What am I supposed to say about that?
I'm not. We can move on.
All right,
there's something else. It's time. Time will tell.
Okay. Coming in at 23 is the Los Angeles Chargers. Let's be real here, guys. I'm a big Tyrod Taylor guy in Buffalo. I think he was a great, very productive quarterback with LaShawn McCoy in that offense in Buffalo. But this is Cleveland 2.0. Justin Herbert will be the starter by week 6. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you. And they have a good offense in general. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler. I mean, they have a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. But defensively, they lose Derwin James to a debilitating knee injury. He's gone for the season. And he is your impact player on defense. Yes, you have Melvin Ingram. You have Joey Bosa. You drafted well, I think. You made 2 first-round selections. And you got that linebacker from Oklahoma, Kenneth Murray. And you think it's good enough, but I just don't think down the stretch they'll be able to contain guys in their division. Henry Ruggs comes in with the Raiders, with Derek Carr, and maybe try to revitalize their offense a little bit with Chucky in the desert. You have, obviously, Patrick Mahomes reigning MVP, the most explosive offense in the NFL.
For sure.
And even the Broncos, who come in with Drew Lock and a fully loaded offense now with Jerry Jeudy and Kenny Hamler, like this is going to be a tough, division to play defense in. And
it definitely is. It definitely is.
I don't think they're up to snuff. I really don't think they're up to snuff.
They have I like their defense. Their defense is very, very, very well put together. And with the loss of Darwin, that definitely hurts. But I feel like they can pull it through. On the offensive side, though, I need a little bit more reinsurance on the back end. I would say, me personally, you just paid the alien, he just got his money. And so, he's living good, but what about everybody else? How are we going to make sure everybody else is happy?
Are you a Justin Herbert guy?
I am.
You are? You sure?
I am.
All right, we're gonna move on. 22, the Las Vegas Raiders, and there's a good reason why I put them above the Los Angeles Chargers, and it's because of John Gruden. I think John Gruden comes into this season knowing full well that this is Derek Carr's last opportunity to be the franchise guy in the desert. And Derek Carr has that potential to be, an MVP type guy. I mean, just a few seasons ago, before a crazy leg injury takes him out, 35 touchdowns. He was in the MVP leading race. He was leading that entire charge, and he has the talent to bring that offense to the next level. You bring in Henry Ruggs, the speedster. I was at the combine. I watched this guy's 40 live. He didn't break the record, no, but this cat's got wheels.
For sure.
And so he can take the top off of any defense, and you need to stay competitive on that side of the ball and into the same division as the Kansas City Chiefs.
For sure,
so they made the right moves this offseason. So I'm very interested to see how the Las Vegas Raiders do the coming season.
I am too. I'm very optimistic about them.
Yeah. All right, coming in at 21, the Denver Broncos. 3 straight AFC West. I didn't even notice that till now. The Denver Broncos at 21. Drew Lock is being hailed as the next coming of John Elway. I'm not sure I'm on board with that, but I'm a big fan of Drew Lock. I'm a big fan of Drew Lock. You're not? Why not?
Well, no, not of Drew Lock, but I'm talking about the stature that they're trying to compare.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. I'm on that. I'm on that train. I'm saying there's been a lot of hype behind him coming into this season with a lot of weapons that he kind of just acquired. Jerry Jeudy,
Carson Wentz.
I agree, but we'll get to that later. Jerry Jeudy was my number 1 receiver on the board this year for the draft, and for good reason. Sure. The route running, just the overall presence he brings to the football field is astounding, and he's a guy that can transform an offense. And he's coming into a receiver room already stacked with Cortland Sutton, who's going to break out again this season. He broke out last season.
I think he had an amazing season last year.
And with Drew Lock coming into his second season now, with games under his belt, wins under his belt, more importantly, he steps into that Mile High City now, saying like, "Hey, this is my town. I'm going to take over." And
I believe him.
He has a great running back stable behind him. A guy like Phillip Lindsay, the speedster, the Afro. I love that guy. And then you bring in Melvin Gordon as well. A nice 1-2 punch there in the backfield.
That's going to be nasty.
It's going to be nasty. And I'm very interested to see how that defense performs as well as Von Miller gets older. I think that's probably the weaker part of that team now, more than I think about it. But we're going to move on. We'll see.
We'll move on.
All right.
Move on.
Number
It's a lot. This is a lot of talk about some people who's done made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And actually won one.
And when was that?
Well, come on now.
I'm just
That's
saying.
not that far off. That's
I'm
not
just
that
saying.
far off. We're not that far off.
All right. Coming at number 20 is the Cleveland Browns.
Mm.
I'm in a lot of flack for this too. Also, this morning, before we move on to anything else, Odell Beckham Jr. got, dragged through the mud, if you know what I'm saying, this morning for a lot of some weird stuff. I'm going to bring it up here.
Yeah.
A lot of weird stuff happened this morning.
I have no clue what that's even you're even talking about, so I'm just going to leave that there. You can bring that up.
Blame the Insta thoughts. Just blame the Insta thoughts. All right, we're moving on. Baker Mayfield now had a down season last year. And the scariest thing for me going into this season is Baker Mayfield's decision-making. Now, people say the offensive line let him down last year, which they did. Granted, they did. But Baker Mayfield led the NFL last year in no-pressure interceptions. In a clean pocket, just threw interception. That's not a good look when you have Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry in your back pocket. That's not a good look at all. And granted, they're going to have a better run game this year, I think, with Kareem Hunt getting a better sense of where he fits in the system. Also with Nick Chubb in that backfield as well. And you add a guy like Austin Hooper, who is a tremendous downfield option that'll open up the slant options and the zig options and the corner post options for OBJ and Jarvis. So that was a great addition. And I love what they do.
It's going to be nice for them. I think that with Hooper there, and don't sleep on Njoku. Njoku is an athlete as well. He can get out there. He's a freak as well as Odell and Jarvis and them. So they'll be out there sitting nice.
Yeah, I agree with you. Coming at number 19, the Los Angeles Rams. Now, I'm a very big non-Jared Goff fan. That was a weird way to phrase it. Yeah. But I'm not a fan of Jared Goff. Want to know why? Because Jared Goff is not elite at anything. He's not elite at anything. Arm strength, no. Accuracy, no. Poise in the pocket, no. Like, he doesn't do anything at an elite level. It bothers me. You went number 1 overall. It bothers me. But the rest of that team is filling out very, very nicely. Obviously, Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods leads that receiving room. That defense is still great in the back end with Jalen Ramsey leading the charge. Exactly. And so that's why I have the Rams at 19. And we'll get to our hot takes later, but there's a reason why I have the Rams at 19 over some of these guys like the Broncos and even the Bengals even. So we're going into number 18 now on my list, the Arizona Cardinals. And yes, I put them over the Rams for a very good reason. His name is Kyler Murray. And because he had a great rookie campaign last year, he's only going to improve on this year. It also helps you got the number 1 receiver in the NFL. That probably helps too. DeAndre Hopkins comes in a lot. And he comes in that receiving room paired with Larry Fitzgerald, making plays, wearing the goggles, the Eric Dickerson style. I love it. And he's going to make some plays for that offense. He's going to make some serious plays for that offense. And they drafted a guy named Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson, who started at 5 positions in Clemson. Like, what?
He's a legit baller.
He's a legit baller. And they just paid Budda Baker as well on that back end. So now you have 2 uber athletic guys just roaming the field. And so that's a recipe for success in my view.
I believe in that as well. I can't wait to see what they do. Yeah.
Coming in at number 17, the Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan and company, still in the Super Bowl hangover, I think, really. I mean, they've been struggling since 28-3 happened. But
exactly.
New season, it means all new opportunities, any given Sunday, as the phrase goes. The Falcons bring in a comeback player of the year candidate named Todd Gurley. And this is a scary sight for a lot of defenses because if Todd Gurley, regains any semblance of what he was during the Super Bowl year in 53, this is going to be a dangerous offense, a very dangerous offense. Imagine a 3-headed snake of Matt Ryan, Todd Gurley, and Julio Jones, and even a guy like Calvin Ridley too. And you look at that offense, and it's like this has the potential to be a very explosive offense, not the 2016 version, but a very explosive offense.
In my opinion, when you have stars that come together, we got to make sure they gel together. So, we just need to hope that they gel together on that field.
Yeah, and not to mention that offensive line is a little bit shaky too. The interior of that offensive line is a little bit shaky. So when you have Todd Gurley, who's already injury prone, who has tendonitis in his knees, that's not a good recipe. So we'll see if he can overcome those odds. That number 16, I have the Houston Texans. I want to make one thing clear here. Brandon Cooks is the most disrespected star receiver in the NFL.
Yes.
Disrespected. He's been traded off like a piece of garbage between teams the past 4 years and consistently gives you 1,000-yard seasons without any experience in the system. That marks a special player, no matter how you slice and dice it. The speedster
Speed
himself,
matters.
the speed does matter. The archer, as we like to call him in New England, Brandon Cooks, and now you're pairing him with Will Fuller, who another speedster out of Notre Dame, who granted can't stay healthy, but when healthy, it's Deshaun Watson's favorite downfield option.
Yes.
And speaking of which, Deshaun Watson, the Pro Bowl quarterback, who I think is up for an All-Pro nomination this year, but that remains to be seen.
I'm with that. We'll see. They got a couple players out there.
Yeah, and you look at Bill O'Brien, and you think, first of all, this guy's a moron. But two, you look at the move he made when he traded DeAndre Hopkins away. Yes, lopsided trade in favor of Arizona, but let's take what you have right here. You have David Johnson, that you traded for. While he has not been elite since 2015, he has the potential to bounce back at any time. I would never count out David Johnson, especially in an offense led heavily by Deshaun Watson. He is not carrying the load anymore. David Johnson in Arizona in the desert was carrying the load that entire time offensively. There's a reason why he was overworked. Yeah. And so you look at it now, Deshaun Watson's leading the charge. Maybe a secondary role he kind of thrives in. So I'm interested to see how DJ performs out in Houston. At number 15, the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm a big Carson Wentz guy. I have a feeling you're not so much, but I'm a big Carson Wentz guy. And when you have a guy like Miles Sanders as well, who's on his way to, I think, to a Pro Bowl season this year if he can stay healthy. Granted, he's already injured. He's already injured.
I hear you.
We're not sure if he's even going to play week 1. But I think that paired with Miles Sanders, Carson Wentz can have a great campaign. Receivers, still looking shaky. Can't say they look great. But at tight end, Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz, like they have some talent on that offense. And defensively, you lost Malcolm Jenkins. He goes back home to New Orleans. But you still have some talent, especially in the interior of the defensive line with Fletcher Cox. Their secondary is looking very shaky. They released Sidney Jones, their former second-round pick, just a couple days ago. And I'm not really sure how they're going to function with like a legitimate leader in that secondary. So that's probably the weakest part of their team. But I trust Carson Wentz to lead them to at least a decent record this year. Granted, it's the NFC East, the most up-and-down division in football history, but we'll see if he can do it.
At number defense.
Yeah. At number 14, my hometown, New England Patriots. It pained me to keep them out of the top 10. It pained me, but I had to. I had to be unbiased. I had to be. This team, with face value, minus COVID, is still a championship roster. With COVID, with 8 dropouts, including a guy like Dante Hightower, it's no longer a championship roster. Unless Bill Belichick really turns on the gears here and Cam Newton goes back to MVP form, they're not making it past it, even getting to the AFC Championship. They're not.
Really?
But what I will say in favor of the Patriots is that you do have a potential, MVP resurgence for Cam Newton. That running back stable is looking iffy right now because of Damian Harris's injury, who balled out during camp, but it's a pinky injury, which is not a huge injury. So he was put on a temporary IR to make space for J.J. Taylor, former University of Arizona running back. But
just making room.
Damian Harris will be back by week 3. And don't be surprised if he's leading the charge over Sony Michel, who I think is criminally overrated. That receiving core, Julian Edelman and N'Keal Harry. Cam Newton's going to love N'Keal Harry in the red zone. He's going to feed him footballs. That's why I drafted him in fantasy. Drafted him pretty high, too, because Cam Newton loves his big body guys like Devin Funchess when he gets into the red zone. And N'Keal Harry posters everyone in sight when he sniffs the red zone. So I love that pairing. The biggest thing for me is past them after cutting Mohamed Sanu, which I think was a bad move. You have Damiere Byrd, who we played with in Carolina, and who's a very speedy guy. Can't really say healthy as well, but speedy guy. And Gunna. Now, Gunna is not a great option last year. He was kind of up and down throughout the season, was barely making the roster, but now he comes in more experienced in that number 4 role. And so I'm interested to see how that kind of, transpires on that offense this year. The defense is still rock solid. That secondary is the best in the NFL, and it's not even close. J.C. Jackson, who will be a top 10 cornerback by the time the NFL season's done. I'm telling you that right now. Stephon Gilmore, not the number 1 cornerback in football. Devin McCourty, Jason McCourty, and even Kyle Duggar, the rookie out of Lenoir-Rhyne, the Division II school. Why are you shaking your head?
Because, man, like you're telling me about these players and all this stuff is going on. Like, the man is gone. Let's just put that in the air. The man is gone. Everybody's spirits is broken over there. So I don't care who you have out there starting week 1. They're not going to have the same passion. I guarantee you that. Cam is a great player. I believe in him, but when that GOAT is gone, those rings went with him.
I agree.
We're going to see what they do now.
I agree. That's why I'm at 14 and not 10. But what I will say is, I think we have a differing opinion on who made the franchise the franchise. Tom Brady obviously is the reason why they won Super Bowls. But without Bill Belichick there, they don't win. I don't care what you say. They don't win 6 rings. They maybe ring 2 rings, 3 rings maybe. But without Bill Belichick, and first of all, that defense that him and Bill Parcells built, especially in the early dynasties, they don't get anywhere near where they are legacy-wise, especially Tom Brady. So I'll leave that where it is. Bill Belichick, trust in Bill. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, we'll say that when I go up.
Yeah. At number 13, we have the Indianapolis Colts. Phillip Rivers.
13?
13. What's wrong with 13?
13 Indianapolis Colts?
Yeah. What's wrong with 13?
Yeah, okay.
13. We're going with 13. Phillip Rivers.
I'm starting to feel like I need to change mine around.
Phillip Rivers walks into the first foreign locker room in his entire NFL career. Obviously, he was drafted by the Giants, was traded during the Eli Manning situation, and he ends up coming to the Colts in year, 18? Something like that. I'm not a math guy.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is. He's old. Anyway, he walks into that room, leaving Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler behind, but he inherits Marlon Mack and a guy named Jonathan Taylor, who I think was the best.
Good.
They're very good. I think Jonathan Taylor was the best running back in this class. I have no problem saying that.
Yes.
Yeah, they say J.K. Dobbins, they say DeAndre Swift. No, Jonathan Taylor is that dude. He powered Wisconsin. He's the reason why Wisconsin was even relevant last year.
By himself.
And the Colts have obviously the best offensive line, if not top 3 offensive line in the NFL, headed by Quentin Nelson, who was just an absolute freak of nature. Don't want to see that guy in an alley anytime soon.
Right there with you.
He's 3 of me. I'm 200. He's 3 of me. Yeah. And so that's kind of scary. But with the Colts in general, I think they have a great leadership under Frank Reich. I think Phillip Rivers is going to mesh well in that system. I just have a lot of faith in T.Y. Hilton to be an all-star receiver this year. So that's why I have the Colts at 13.
Proven player. He's a proven player.
At 12, I have the Minnesota Vikings, and I really did not want to put him at 12 just because I think Kirk Cousins is an absolute scrub. I do not like Kirk Cousins at all. I think he's the biggest choke artist. I think he is just a faker. That guaranteed contract was abysmal. I hated that contract they gave him. And he can't win in clutch moments. He just can't do it. I don't care what you say. He just cannot win in clutch moments, and it pisses me off.
Well, he'll get it. I'm pretty sure he'll get it together. Him and Thielen. I'm pretty sure they're one and the same over there. They're thinking alike. I'm pretty sure they'll get things figured out.
Okay, the reason I'm at 12,
they just picked up Justin. What's his name?
Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson. That guy is a baller.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I clown the Eagles after the draft, because you left Justin Jefferson on the board.
And you need a receiver.
You needed a receiver badly, and you took the wrong one. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But with the Vikings here, Dalvin Cook is an elite offensive weapon, no matter how you slice and dice it. Injuries have stacked up against him, but when healthy, he is a top 5 running back in the NFL.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the elite running backs for
sure. He's a premier player, and that defense is not slouching at all either. Headed by Eric Kendricks, Xavier Rhodes actually has been really, really bad the last couple of years, but I think there's a turnaround in his future. And Harrison Smith has been the leader of that defense for God knows how long. And losing Everson Griffin also hurts as well. But I think in general the Vikings will be fine. I have them at 12 right now. I don't have to go anywhere, deep in the playoffs or anything, but I think they're a good football team. Yeah. At number 11, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I was a huge Steelers fan down the line last year. I mean, what Mike Tomlin did with that team, starting off so poorly and finishing so amazing, was great to watch, fun to watch. Picking up Minkah Fitzpatrick for a first-round pick was probably the trade of the year. I mean, Minkah Fitzpatrick is a legitimate defensive player of the year candidate this year. And there's a reason why. It's because he's a ball hawk. In the middle of that defense, he is Troy Polamalu-esque. Not the same against the run, but in general, he has the same impact.
Yeah, we can get over there in that area, but
Yeah, I know. Anyway, I exaggerate things. I exaggerate things. I love doing that. Anyway, Ben Roethlisberger, Big Ben comes back off of injury, lost a ton of weight too. Lost a ton of weight. And so when you look at that, his mobility will be increased. He's already hard to bring down anyway. There's a reason why they call him Big Ben.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have a lot of great receivers out there, a lot of lesser-known receivers out there that are looking to make big names out of themselves coming up this year. So keep an eye on the Pittsburgh Steelers. You will be disappointed if you don't.
Okay.
Coming in at number 10, the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Dak walks in to the best receiving room in the league. CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Michael Gallup. Give me a break. If Dak Prescott cannot bring this team to the NFC Championship this year, he never will. Because this team is bona fide and just star-studded with talent.
Dallas has always been a star-studded team. They've always had the big names, the big contracts, the biggest contracts. Everything they do in Texas is big. We know all that, but they don't never get past the first round of the playoffs. So I'm really up in the air with them. I like them for sure. I like them, but we got to see. They can sneak out a couple wins, in their division, but
and you can't forget about Zeke. You can't forget about Zeke.
You can't
at all.
That's what I'm saying. They have too much star power for them not to be in question of getting to the playoffs.
Yeah, and you look at that defense as well. A guy that people haven't really heard of in a while, Randy Gregory, just got reinstated.
Yeah.
That dude is a high motor monster.
Yeah.
Off the edge. Now combine him with a guy named Lawrence out there, and you get a really great combination off the edge.
You get a scary backfield. That's what you call it.
Exactly. And you have that front seven, paired with Jalen Smith, paired with guys like what's his name? Van Der Esch. You put with Van Der Esch. Two young athletic linebackers in the middle of that defense. It's going to be hard to run the ball against this defense, but it will be easy to pass because they lost a lot in the secondary with Byron Jones walking out the door.
Yes, they did.
So Dallas Cowboys stock is, kind of in the air right now, but I feel comfortable at 10 for them. Yeah. Number 9, the Tennessee Titans. Now, Derrick Henry. I went to the AFC divisional game last year, and I watched my Patriots get manhandled by a grown-ass man. Derrick Henry and it's not like a secret. We knew what they were going to do. Ryan, no one was scared of Ryan Tannehill. We talked about this before in our last podcast too. Ryan Tannehill was never the scary option in that offense. It was always Derrick Henry. We could have run engage 8 the entire game, and that's essentially what we did, and it didn't matter. Because you can't bring down 6'3", 240 pounds running at 4.5. You can't do it.
Just a Mack truck.
It's a Mack truck. It's a garbage truck coming down a residential street. You can't stop it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's scary.
It's scary. And so when you combine that with a guy like A.J. Brown, who broke out last year, even a guy like Corey Davis, who showed flashes of excellence.
Corey Davis is very high on my list. I like him a lot.
I do too. And then you look at that defense with Adoree Jackson. That defense
is LA product.
Exactly. It's looking scary. And so even guys like Kevin Byard, who broke onto the scene just 2 years ago.
Yes.
You have a great defense, a solid offense. I expect them to go places. But this is a reason why I don't have them in the top, 5. I don't have barely the Ravens in the top 5 is because of a reason I'll get to when I get to your 49ers. Because I want to rub it in your face. All right, at 8, we have the Buffalo Bills. And this is probably my riskiest ranking out of all of them so far, because Buffalo Bills all rely on Josh Allen. And Josh Allen is the Brett Favre of the NFL right now. Not in the same things of pedigree, but in decision-making, in the gunslinger mentality, in the big arm, the less accuracy type thing. That's what Josh Allen is. And we talked about it earlier.
One of them. You still got Pat Mahomes doing it.
Well,
doing his thing.
And we talked about this with Sam Darnold as well. The decision-making isn't quite there yet. The accuracy might be a little bit off depending on his receiving core. But now you got a guy like Stephon Diggs, who's probably the best pairing for Josh Allen in the entire league. Because the one thing that Stephon Diggs knows how to do is to go get that deep ball. That deep ball.
Get open.
He's probably the best deep ball receiver in the NFL, in my opinion. And when you look at it that way, Josh Allen has just chuck it deep. And you really can't overthrow Stephon Diggs. He has wheels. He'll catch up to that thing. He'll be open.
Exactly.
So when you look at it that way, it's probably the best pairing possible for Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen and company in Buffalo. And a guy like Sean McDermott, who's leading that team, who's completely switched the culture around from losing to winning. And it's been a crazy, crazy thing for me to see growing up in New England. Did a great job growing up in New England, watching us beat on the Bills consistently week after week, year after year. and so now you see John McDermott just turn the entire thing around. It's been impressive. And that defense is scary.
Yeah.
Davius White is a scary, scary man. And so, and I really I'm high on the Buffalo Bills this year. So don't sleep on the Buffalo Bills.
I'm right there with you.
And I have them winning the AFC East as well. So going into to number 7, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This one hurts. It still hurts. It still stings. It still stings. But Tom Brady has the mother load on offense.
Yeah.
And going into the season before, some of these roster moves were made, he said, hey, the only weak part of their team is rushing. And then you added Leonard Fournette and LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah, exactly. They're not hurting at anything, at any position on offense.
Are you kidding me? Who the hell let them get Leonard Fournette? Someone should have claimed him away just for the hell of it, just to stop that from happening.
I'm trying to figure out how they couldn't even get a trade for him. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I know. Well, the thing is, listen, the Jaguars are not the smartest organization in football, and here's the reason why. They showed everyone their poker cards and then tried to play poker. Yeah. That's not how it works, guys. You're supposed to hide your cards, not show them to everybody.
Exactly.
But the Buccaneers now with Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, who is still the starter, by the way, in that offense. Let's not forget about him. And you got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Cameron Brate, O.J. Howard, Rob Gronkowski, and a good defense. I don't want this team, but I actually like the team a lot. Going back into it, the Buccaneers. Now, we talked about them already. I want to get to number 6. The Green Bay Packers, who I have a huge bone to pick with you about because you really just disrespected Aaron Rodgers. And that's the wrong thing to do. Wrong thing to do. Green Bay comes into the draft, and everybody's thinking they're going to draft a receiver to help Aaron Rodgers one last time to see if he can have that final push to be a Super Bowl champion. And you look at it, and the draft board's coming up, and you say, maybe Brandon Ayuk out of Arizona, maybe this, maybe that. And then they draft a quarterback.
And that's my problem right there.
And we can talk about that more when we get to yours. But I will say, the wrong thing to do is to piss off Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to leave it at that. You got a guy named Aaron Jones in that backfield who surprised a lot of people last year. You have a guy named A.J. Dillon, BC boy, who comes in with killer quads bigger than my head. Well, that's scary. And you in that receiving core still, like we said, a lot to be desired. The offensive line still solid. The defense is very solid. With Jair Alexander heading that cornerback position right out there. And so just don't sleep with the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to leave it at that. Most of my talking points on this is just pissing Aaron Rodgers off. You saw you saw it in New England when Tom Brady didn't have a lot of options, in years like 2012, 2013, 2008, 2009. The same thing happened. Elite quarterbacks like Brady and Rodgers, who were in a very, very small class, overcome personnel changes to win games. And that's what I think exactly what's going to happen in Green Bay this year. Coming in number 5, the Baltimore Ravens. And people were all over me in the comments about this when I posted this a couple of days ago. And they're saying, how can they not be top 3? They have Lamar Jackson. They went 14-2 last year. They returned everybody. Lamar Jackson is a phenomenal football player.
Yes.
I'm not going to undersell that. MVP, well-deserved last year. Great football player. What is he in the playoffs? 0-2? I think he's 0-2. Yep. And when I look at it that way, until you win a playoff game or until you consistently show me you can win from the pocket, which you need to do in playoff games, I'm not sold. Say what you want. I'm not sold.
I hear you.
And they brought in a lot of great guys like Calais Campbell, guys like Derek Wolfe, and a lot of offenses returning, even with Marquise Brown up 20 pounds with 4.3 speed. That's scary. But until Lamar Jackson shows me he can be an elite passer from the pocket and or can win a playoff game, I'm not sold.
But I can't fight with you on that. Those are good points. I can't really fight with you on that.
Yeah, and you're a former Raven. You look at the helmet right back there.
Listen, I'm not even going. I'm gonna save mine for. I'm gonna save my little talking points for when I go up.
That's a smart man right there. Coming in at number 4, the New Orleans Saints. And word broke probably about 3 or 4 days, maybe even a week ago. I'm losing track of time up at school. But the Saints are going to be negative $70 million in the cap next year. And they just extended Kamara. Well, they're in the process of extending Kamara right now. But, guys, this is the final push. This is the final Drew Brees year.
Has to be.
In New Orleans. There's a reason why they brought in Jameis Winston. There's a reason why. He's a successor. I get an Aaron Brooks vibes from him with number 2 in New Orleans. I think it's pretty cool. But this is the final push, and Drew Brees knows it. And he's going to ball out. And when you bring in a guy like Emmanuel Sanders, who the Saints have never really had a legitimate number 2 receiver for Drew Brees to work with since they had Michael Thomas. They've had Michael Thomas and then what? Ted Ginn. Like they've had very, very minimal options outside of Michael Thomas in that backfield as well. And when you bring in Emmanuel Sanders, who is a bona fide number 2, was number 1 just a few seasons ago, but is now a great number 2 option.
Still is, but it's Michael Thomas. So
exactly.
You have to fall into play.
Right. And when you bring him in, like right there, it's just, guys, this offense is going to explode again. Kamara had a bad year last year. He played with a torn knee.
I was just going to say he was injured.
He was injured the whole year. So when you're getting a healthy Kamara, you're getting Emmanuel Sanders injected into that offense. You have Latavius Murray, who's a change of pace back. It was a great option. Solid offensive line, solid defense, like we said earlier. You bring in Malcolm Jenkins home. This is a recipe for success, and this is Drew Brees' final chance, and he's not going to mess it up. That's number 4.
I hope not. I wish the best for him.
Yeah. Number 3, your San Francisco 49ers.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
there's a reason there's number 3. His name is Jimmy Garoppolo. Now,
okay.
In 2016,
what do you got? What do you have to say about my quarterback?
All right. So when we traded Jimmy Garoppolo just a few seasons ago, I was pissed. I actually wanted to trade you Brady. And all my friends can vouch for that. I want to trade Brady away because I'm about the future. I'm about setting the future up for the New England Patriots. That didn't happen, and you went to San Francisco. Then goes undefeated in his first, I think 9 games in San Francisco.
Yes.
Balls out. Phenomenal player. But then last season happens, and you have a guy named Raheem Mostert who leads that backfield with a ton of change of pace backs who they had Matt Breida, not anymore. And they had a lot of great guys in that backfield and a lot of great receivers. And you look at it, the team, it's just like, wow, this team was great last year. Make it to the Super Bowl. And then they get stomped. And there's a reason why they got stomped is because when you have a great defense in a run game, it works perfectly until you have to play from behind. Until you have to put that ball in Jimmy Garoppolo's hands and say, hey, no more running, win the football game with your arm. And it just didn't happen. And that's the biggest mark I have with this entire team right now is because you cannot play from behind with the style of football that the 49ers and the Ravens play. That's the reason why the Ravens are number 5. And that's the reason why the Niners are number 3. But
let's just say it was a hard-fought game. It was a hard-fought game.
A hard-fought game. I will grant you that. But the team itself is complete. I'm just waiting to see if Jimmy Garoppolo can take over a game like an NFL team needs him to do.
I'm sure you'll see it this year.
I hope so. I'm a Jimmy G guy.
More than sure.
I'm a Jimmy G guy. Coming in number 2 is the Seattle.
It don't sound like it. I'm sorry. It don't sound like it. You was just giving praises to everybody else that came from the Patriots. Oh, yeah, he was a great guy. And now I didn't get none of that when you was talking about Jimmy. Come on, man. Give my quarterback some respect.
I'm trying to use some riled up a little bit. Coming in at number 2 is the Seattle Seahawks. And now people really shit on me with this as well because they said, hey, that's too high for the Seahawks. They don't have enough talent, blah, blah, blah. Shut up.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson is an MVP caliber quarterback. How many votes has he got?
Elite.
0. He's gotten 0 MVP votes. Why? Derek Carr's got more MVP votes than Russell Wilson has. That's asinine. And when you look at it in that way, first of all, he's pissed off, I'm sure. He's been pissed off since he got in the league. Level-headed guy, but motivated. And
for sure. Definitely motivated.
Motivated. And when you see that receiving core, passionate, I think is the best word to describe Russell Wilson. Danger Russ, as we like to call him. But that receiving core, DK Metcalf, balled out his rookie year. Year 2 looks to be a scary, scary sight for any secondary member because he's faster than you, he's bigger than you, and he's stronger than you. Yes. I don't care what defensive back you are. He has all 3 over you. He has all the intangibles to ball out, and he will this season. He will.
And then you have Josh Gordon, who's literally the spitting image of them.
Exactly. And even a guy like Tyler Lockett, who is underrated as hell, a great route runner, a speedster. You have a lot of talent on offense. And then you bring in Jamal Adams, the best safety in the NFL, in my opinion. Jamal Adams transforms that defense. I don't care what you say.
It's gonna be definitely. It's not gonna be a Legion of Boom. It'll be something though. It'll be a boom something.
It'll be something.
It'll be a boom something.
And at number 1, this shouldn't be a surprise. The Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not even going to talk about them that much because Patrick Mahomes is all you have to say. That's all I had to say.
That's all you have to say.
And that's all you have to say. And then you bring in
the best team on paper now.
And then you bring in Clyde.
One of the best.
Exactly. And then you bring in Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who is people are pegging to have a Pro Bowl season his rookie year without Damian Williams in that backfield to kind of stop his progress. And now I don't buy the hype that's going on, but he'll be a productive player, no doubt. This team is still as scary as it was a year ago. I'm still pissing my shorts about playing them in the playoffs if we even make it there. But, guys, they're for real. They're number one. That's my power rankings.
That's a good one. I like it. It's different. It's different for sure, but, we'll go with it. Let's see. Start from the bottom up, huh?
Yes, sir.
So I'm not gonna spend too much time on the first three. Okay. I have 32, 31, and 30. I have at 32 the Jaguars, 31 Washington, 30. 30 is the Bengals. All of those, we kind of already got our points across with those. I'm not really too interested in anybody that's on that team except for Joe Burrows that's on the Bengals. Everybody else, they're just something I just have to see.
Let me ask you a question.
Any of those.
Let me ask you a question. What about the Bengals scares you the most?
Absolutely nothing. I don't believe in their coaching. It's not the players. It's the coaching that you have right behind them. And if you don't have a smart mind to groom this phenom that you have sitting in your lap with Joe Burrows, and then you have a great wide receiver with AJ Green and Tyler Boyd who's coming up in the ranks, I don't know what to do with you. Like I don't know how to feel about any coaching staff with that. So we're just going to see what they're talking about with their team and Washington. Washington is really, they're on another level of anger with me right now with their Washington sign. They don't even have a logo. They just have a sign.
That's why
Washington, and then, the Jaguars, that's another team that's still trying to figure out who they are and trying to bring themselves back up to speed.
I'm with you on that. I can't really argue a lot on that. So
yeah,
let's go 29.
Yeah, 29, I got the Giants. The Giants, they have Saquon. They have, Daniel Jones. Two great players. I like Sterling Shepard. They have some talent over there, but they need some more. They need to work together. They need to find something to put something together. I honestly don't like teams that are in a major media market. Teams that are in a major media market, there's too many eyes on you. You're worrying about too many things. Everybody want to go and, worry about what's going on off the field instead of what's on the field. And if you're not paying attention to what's going on the field, you're gonna get waxed. So week one, I don't see any one of those winning week one. So
fair enough. I understand that view completely. We talked about that earlier with the Giants. I think I had the Giants in a similar spot, if not lower. So we'll go on to the Lions at 28.
Yep, 28. I have the Detroit Lions. It's another one. It's another team that needs to get the fire behind them. They have Matthew Stafford, who I definitely believe in. But the running back crew, there's a solid running back crew with Drake out. With Drake out there, I really enjoy watching him play. I actually seen him working out in the off season. I like what I see from him. But too much of anything else with the Detroit Lions, not much there. The defensive line is truly something else, though. They know how to get after the quarterback over there.
I would say transcendent, to be honest with you. Trey Flowers is a great edge player from New England. I think he has a lot of talent over there. If not for a couple of penalties like we talked about, they could have been realistically like 4-0 starting the season last year. And then Matt Stafford goes down. Obviously, there's a lot of hoopla with that. But they're a solid team. They just don't have the pieces together right now, I think. Yeah.
For sure. 27, I got the Dolphins. Dolphins is a team that's on, it's a rebuilding phase. They're trying to get their game together. And like I said, any team that's in the major media market, I don't believe that their heads are in the right space. So they have some things that they need to work on over there.
Are you a big Tua guy?
No, I'm not. I believe that he's a good player. I believe that he's a really good player. But with the NFL, especially with you being short, you have a height disadvantage to you. You have to use your legs, and you're already just coming off of an injury. Things is looking against you. I'm not against him. I'm just against the circumstances that he has lined up against him. That's the only thing that I have.
I gotcha. I understand that point.
Yeah. But like I said, they're in a rebuilding phase. They'll get better. They'll get better. Then you have the 26. I have the Jets. the New York Jets. I think there will be a nice team to come out. I mean, to come out and play. They have Le'Veon Bell. Well, what's the quarterback's name? That's how bad they
Sam
are. To
Darnold.
be honest with you, Sam Darnold. I don't believe in him. I wish they could have went in and drafted another quarterback to compete with him, because I think that's all that Sam Darnold really needs. When he was at USC, he was special, but getting into the NFL and you have everything catered to you, and you're the top pick, and everybody expects you to be the breadwinner and make the plays for them, but you don't have anybody competing with you. It's kind of hard. And I don't know who he's working out with. Hopefully he's went out and worked with a lot of quarterbacks or a lot of coaches to help get him back.
He's working with Jordan Palmer. Last time I heard he was working with Jordan Palmer, Carson Palmer's brother.
Oh, okay.
Who's a big trainer out on the LA coast there.
Yeah.
Works with Josh Allen, works with even Joe
I've worked
Burrow.
out with him before.
Yeah, no, he's a great guy too.
Yeah.
And so I like what the development that they're trying to get into instilled in Sam Darnold, and they bring in a guy like Denzel Mims on the second round last year, or this year actually, and who has the potential to be great. I'm not really sold on him because I don't really like his stature, especially being thrust into a number one receiving role, which he will be. Robbie Anderson's gone; he went to Carolina, so not really sold on the Jets this year.
No,
not that I've ever been sold on the Jets.
Not at all.
Yeah.
No, but they still have a lot of solid players, though. They have a lot of solid players over there. 25, I got the Carolina Panthers. You have a great offense. You have a great offense, but, you lost Cam Newton. You have Christian McCaffrey, who's, I think, is arguably one of the best players in the NFL. But, if you don't have anything to work around him, there's not too much you can do with your team. You can have great stars. You can have great stars out there and not be able to have them all lined up together. And that's what I see with Carolina Panthers. Their defense, though. Their defense with the lead with I keep on forgetting the linebacker's name, the middle linebacker's name. And I know they're gonna kill me for it because
Shaq Thompson?
There you go. Shaq Thompson. Shaq Thompson is a phenomenal player. I like how he plays. He's very intuitive. He studies the games. He knows where he needs to be. Just being able to get everybody in line is where they need to figure it out at.
100%.
All these teams are they look like they can be good, but they need to work on a lot of things and draft a couple more players.
Do you believe in Teddy Bridgewater?
Do I believe in Teddy Bridgewater? I do believe in Teddy Bridgewater, but like I said about the Giants, you have to have a good coaching staff behind you, and it's yet to be seen with him.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You really can't comment on that. You just wait and see on that situation.
Yeah, for sure. Coming in at 24, I got the Atlanta Falcons. We already know about them with Todd Gurley and Matty Ice and Julio Jones, which I believe could be explosive. That could be very deadly, a deadly combination, but it just seems like it just seems like there's something going on internally to where they can't just put all the pieces together. You're talking about three great stars that are on offense that can potentially go out and make the best of it. But, just past years, just looking at them of the players that they did have, it just never clicked for them, especially after the Super Bowl. That was when I knew that there was a real downfall inside of that coaching staff.
Yeah, Dan Quinn really took a beating there, and he comes from being on your Seattle Seahawks defensive
and I like him a lot.
I do too.
He's a great guy.
It's hard to overcome the logistics, I should say, of losing a game of that magnitude, 28-3. You're up 23 after halftime, not even before halftime, after halftime, and then just to see that fall apart and crumble before your eyes, it takes a toll. And I don't think they did enough to address that going into the next season. It's really taken, its toll on the entirety of that organization.
Yeah, just plugging in another star is just not going to be able to cut it. It has to be something more in depth when it comes to the Atlanta Falcons. Let's see, 23. I got the Chicago Bears. The team that you love to hate. It's not. I really don't have much to say about the Chicago Bears. No, there's no really big splashes going on over there. Yeah, I'm good. If you have anything to say on them, then you
Nah,
go ahead. I don't have
nah,
anything to say about them.
nah.
Yeah.
Irrelevant. It's okay. We'll move
Then
on.
I got a team that you have up pretty high, I believe.
Yeah.
The Denver Broncos at 22.
I got them one spot ahead of you.
No, one spot ahead of me.
Got 'em
Oh,
one spot
okay.
ahead of you.
I thought you had him up a little bit higher. You was
Yeah.
giving him a lot of praise, or maybe it was just Jared Judy because that would be the only thing. But I'm with you on that. Jared Judy is a great wide receiver. I think the best one out of the whole receiver camp that came out this year.
Mm-hmm.
He's explosive. He's fast. He's strong. He's not the biggest, but I feel like with everything else that he had, all the other intangibles that he have with him, and especially being accompanied with Courtland Sutton, like I think he would look very good in that orange and blue. I think so. I really think so. I
I'm
think
with you.
he can really get things going over there. Philip Lindsay and Melvin Gordon, those two, I've already said it. It's going to look very scary with them because I'm sold on Philip Lindsay. At first, I wasn't, just seeing this guy with this ponytail coming out the back of his helmet. I'm like, who is this guy? I mean, here and there, and then he just broke out. I'm like, well, okay, like you have to pay attention to him. There's no denying him.
100%. I'm with you. I'm high on the Denver Broncos this year. I'm high on Drew Lock. I'm high on KJ Hamler. I'm high on the entire offense. But like I said, my main concern is that defense. Yeah. Von Miller, established Hall of Fame player. Not worried about that. I'm worried about the hole that the secondary has been left in since really Super Bowl.
Yeah.
In Super Bowl, it's been going downhill. They have Justin Simmons, granted, a great safety. But outside of that, I don't really see a lot of talent, a lot of star talent in that secondary. That scares me.
But I think that Von Miller is going to have the keys to keeping that defense together. He knows what it takes, and he's going to be able to get it out there. They're going to allow Von Miller to preach a little bit and allow them people to soak up the game because Von Miller is a very likable person, and I think that everybody gravitates towards him, and I think that would be the key factor in them being able to get some games win.
Most definitely. I want to hear what you had to say about this next team.
Yeah, 21. I got the Minnesota Vikings. These guys, I personally do not like them at all. I like their defense, their pass defense, especially their defensive line. But overall, they just I don't know what it is. They can't figure it out, especially on offense. They go down, they have amazing games, and you turn around and you're looking at them and they're in the crunch time of making a play, and then I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they do.
I'll tell you what it is. Do you want to know, Chris?
I know who you want to say it is, but I don't want to put it all on him.
It's Kirk Cousins. Just say it with me. It's Kirk Cousins. Just say it with me. I am at 12, actually. So 21 and 12. That's a pretty significant gap.
Yeah.
I don't like him either, but I trust that defense. That's all I'm going to say on the matter.
I trust it too, but, you got to score. You got to score. And we're gonna see. We're gonna see. They got Justin what's his name again?
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson. He's a good receiver. I like him, but he's gonna have his growing pains, so he's gonna figure it out.
Definitely.
20. I got the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
Now the reason why I got the Arizona Cardinals at 20 is because they have a big splash, but they don't have anybody else to contribute with him. I believe in. I like Christian Kirk. I don't want to say I believe in him. I like him. I picked him up in draft in the low rounds, but I picked him up because I feel like what he did last year, especially to my defense, and he ended up with 120, 130 yards against stuff with six or seven receptions. I was blown away. And I'm talking about you're doing this on Richard Sherman, who is arguably one of the best DBs in the game. Mm-hmm. And he did that. So I like them, but I have to stay reserved on them. We have to see what they do. Kyler Murray, he's a great player. But he still needs to fix the line. They need to fix the line because he doesn't need to keep running out there. I know that's what you like to do, and now that's more of a thing now for NFL quarterbacks. But there's going to be some times when you need to think about yourself and stay in the pocket and get the throws off. So
at
we'll
one
see.
point, for both Kyler Murray and for Lamar Jackson as well, for both these players,
Yeah.
the day's going to come. He's going to run out of that pocket and get absolutely cracked,
Yeah.
and his career might be over. And so, unless you fix that offensive line,
I don't know about might be over, but
all it takes is you know this better than anybody. If he takes one hit to the knee, to the shoulder, to anything, to ruin your career. And so you take away someone's legs, you force them to pass. If they're not explosive anymore, it changes the entirety of what that player used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what scares me with Kyler Murray.
I hear you.
Or actually, more specifically, what scares about the offensive line.
Yeah.
That's what scares me.
Yeah, that's exactly what scares me. I feel like from 19 to 11, these teams right here that I'm going to name off, these guys where I'm still on the fence with, but leaning towards it, they could possibly do it. That. It's that one team where you're like, I like them. They look good, but are they going to make it over the hump? 19, I got the Browns. Because I'm an offensive guy. I love everything that they're doing over there, especially with the new hiring of the head coach. I like the offense. The offense looks good on paper, to be honest with you. You have Odell Beckham. You have Austin Hooper out there. You have Jarvis Landry. You have Baker Mayfield, Chubbs. You have Kareem Hunt. Like you have everybody. You have everything that you need on your offensive side. On the defensive side, I feel like it's a little shaky. It's a little shaky, but Myles Garrett, he's a sensitive subject. I'm just going to be honest with you. He's a little sensitive subject. I don't really know the full details of everything that he's going on, but outside of that, I feel like his game is nonetheless is second to none. He's a great player. Everybody on the defense have to put it together, and especially leading in with Myles Garrett, they're gonna have to figure it out.
And they have a great player in Denzel Ward as well, the Warden.
I don't believe in Denzel Ward.
Oh, okay. Why not?
I don't believe in him. He was hurt, and when he's in there, when you're looking at a receiver and trying to see if he's different from everybody else. Now you have to look at the separation that he's getting. That they're getting, and I'm looking at a lot of receivers getting a lot of separation with Denzel Ward, and that's not a recipe for success. It's only a recipe for success for wide receivers. So I'm not sold on him. He needs to get back into to figuring it out and sticking on them like he used to. Let's go with 18. Your guys, the Packers. You like the Packers. You've been getting on me a little bit about this. About Aaron Rodgers. And I think that Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback ever. That's my personal opinion. Ever.
What?
Like, he's the best quarterback.
Time
ever.
out.
If we're not talking about rings, let's just be clear. We're not talking about rings. We're talking about pure quarterback. The best. He has all the intangibles.
Oh, Chris.
All the intangibles. You can't tell me he doesn't.
All right, this is where I go back. All right, this is going to be a weird comparison, but I'm going to bring it in here. The LeBron-Jordan debate, right? I think LeBron
that's not a debate with me.
Okay, but hear me out. I'm going to apply it to what situation is right now. LeBron James, I think, has more talent as a basketball player than Michael Jordan did. But Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time. You want to know the difference? Attitude, rings, and pedigree. Tom Brady has all three over Aaron Rodgers.
He has the rings.
Joe Montana has all over Aaron Rodgers.
Competitiveness.
Tom Brady's the most competitive player in NFL history.
Aaron Rodgers has a million shots of him going out there playing on a broken foot, a hurt ankle, bruised ribs. He's the ultimate competitor. Guy? He's still going to go out there. He's one of the best quarterbacks. He's the best quarterback out there, in my opinion.
Dude, we have a whole,
I like Aaron Rodgers.
We're gonna have to have a whole
But-
show about this one debate. This one, we have like a
But-
showdown.
I don't see it because they didn't pick up no pieces to help him out. They didn't pick up no pieces to help him out at wide receiver, and that's where he wants to have his help at. Like that's where he likes to succeed at, and that's throwing the ball. And if he doesn't have anybody to throw the ball to, then he can't be the greatest of all time.
Okay,
He can't
fair
be
enough.
the greatest of all time. But I hear you. Leading the charge with the defense is Zadarius Smith. That's my guy. I like him a lot. He deserves everything he's getting right now with Green Bay, and he's doing a great job because he learned from the best with Terrell Suggs.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you there.
Yeah. 17. I got the Texans. Because, like I said, these guys, they got it. They're figuring it out. You know, we just need to see if they're going to get over the hump. They paid Deshaun Watson. They got my boy Randall Cobb out there. They got Fuller out there. They got David Johnson out there. Like they have a lot of great pieces out there. The defense, the defense is looking solid as well. I like what I see with them. It's just, are they going to get over the hump? Like I said, these teams that I'm listing off right now, are they going to get over the hump? We can say a lot of great things about them, and we can say a lot of bad things about them. But are they going to get over the hump?
Want to know the one bad thing about Houston? Bill O'Brien.
You said the bad thing?
Yeah, the bad thing. He gave me the worst GM in the league.
See, and then, man, I don't understand you, man. Like, how are you going against him now?
I said it beforehand. Bill O'Brien is the worst GM in the NFL. When you make a trade like he did with DeAndre Hopkins, that's automatically like you're going down the power standings.
Well, I think that that's a little bit something deeper into that. I believe that was more of a business move, allowing Hopkins to go get paid because they wasn't going to be able to do it.
Maybe.
And that's honest because they wouldn't have been able to give Deshaun Watson any of the money that he's getting right now.
Granted, but Arizona signed DeAndre Hopkins to just a 2-year extension. It wasn't like a 4-year, 5-year crazy mega bucks extension, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I look at it that way, I'm just saying, like, no matter how you want to slice and dice it, the excuses you want to make, the reasons behind it, yada, yada, yada. The reality is he traded DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson. That's the reality. And you can't really change the perception of that.
Good player, though.
And I agree with you, but we're not sure if he actually will ever return to the form we saw him at the height of his career.
Do you think that Adrian Peterson is going to have a good year?
I think Adrian Peterson will have an average year.
Okay.
I think he'll have for like 600, 700 yards. I
consider them close. They play a lot alike. They have very similar games. So
well, play style, sure, but effectiveness is a whole different conversation.
Yeah. I'll go with you on that.
Okay.
16. You Las Vegas. It's just weird saying that.
I know. I always say Oakland in my head.
That's exactly what I want to say. You think of the black hole. That's what you're thinking of. But the Las Vegas Raiders. Those guys, they have something to improve. I was just in Vegas a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Drove right past the stadium. It looks amazing.
The Death Star.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I actually have some former teammates that are on the team right now, and they're talking about they look good. They're running great. Everything looks good. They look like they're going to make a turn. We'll see. I believe in Derek Carr. I like Derek Carr, but it just hasn't been panning out for him. And you can be as good as you want to be, but if it doesn't pan out for you, it just doesn't pan out for you. And everybody's going to forget about everything that you did. So Derek Carr, I need Derek Carr to step up. Having Ruggs out there would definitely help out, but that'll be a hit and miss there with them too, I believe, because they didn't have a training, they didn't have a real training camp, they didn't have mini camp or anything like that to really get Ruggs settled in and understanding how to play the game and how to understand the game off the field, with everything going on. That's unfortunate, but they got to plug and play and figure it out. John Gruden's he keeps on talking about he's bringing in the best minds in for the coaching. I hope so, because you guys are going to need it this year.
I got one question for you before we move on here to number 15. I have the Raiders at 22. You have the Raiders
Mhm.
at 16. What's the
Mhm.
number one reason why you have them so high up in your list? The number one reason why you believe in the Las Vegas Raiders.
I believe in them because of John Gruden.
Okay.
He is the number one reason why I believe in him, because he's done historically showed us that he can turn things around for the good and win a Super Bowl. Like, he's done it. So I believe in him. We just need everybody else to come on board.
Okay.
Everybody else needs to go on board. But we'll see with them. Long as we're not battling for the Bay no more with them, I can really honestly care less
We
about
are a pro Chucky podcast. I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see where we're at. 15.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Los Angeles Chargers. It's a great team. They just paid Keenan Allen. It's unfortunate that Mike Williams is hurt. Hopefully he gets to come back and contribute back to the team. But overall, I like the whole team. I like the nucleus of it. I can't really say too much about them. They have a great team. There's certain teams that you have that are that are good and they gel together with each other, but all that really doesn't matter when it comes down to game time.
Right.
That's the kind of team. That's the kind of team that I see them is like they're a great team. You have to really pay attention to them, but at the end, it's like they're going to find a way to give up the game.
Right.
You have too many great players that's out there that's on that team for them to not be in the top 10. That's in my opinion.
Okay. Fair enough.
But I give them 15.
All right.
15. That's
All right.
solid.
All right. That's solid. I'm fine with that.
14. I got the Eagles. And this is why I say I like the Eagles, is because number one, they have Deshaun Jackson. I am a Deshaun Jackson fan. I grew up watching him. We're both LA guys. I grew up watching him. He's coming back. I've watched him work out, so I can see where he's coming from. I can see the fight they have, especially with Carson Wentz, who I'm not high on, but he is a talented player. He is very talented. He's a very talented player. Alshon Jeffries, they have him coming back out. As Alshon Jeffries, I can't really. He's not really done too much because he's been hurt and going back and forth with that. But if he can figure it out this year, and staying healthy and being reliable, because he's a reliable player once he's out there.
Mm-hmm.
They're another team that I can see. Their defense, is, I would say it's subpar.
How to describe it? Do that thing again. Do that. That's the description of the Philadelphia Eagles defense.
That was a good one, huh?
That was a good one. I'm just saying. Just like again, the defense is
when you look at the
subpar.
defense,
You lost
you
Malcolm
lose
Jenkins.
players, and I'm like, come on now. Nothing's really going right for you like that, but I can see, because I just like the people that they have behind them. You can't really go wrong with the guys that I just named off.
Are you a Jalen Reagor fan? No, and I'm not either. I think they really messed up by not taking Justin Jefferson in this spot, and it's going to bite them in the ass late in the season. I'm telling you that right now, guaranteed.
For sure. And this is in 13. I have at 13. This is why I feel like I really need to change this whole list up now that I'm looking at the Colts. But I have the Indianapolis Colts at 13.
Okay. I did too.
Phillip Rivers is going to go down as one of the best quarterbacks that played the game. But he hasn't won anything. That's just like Charles Barkley. He was one of the best NBA players, but didn't win anything, and that's.
I'll do you one better. Dan Marino.
Dan Marino. And I really like Dan Marino, but that's the kind of view I have of him. And it's not a bad look, but it's something to where it's like, you haven't figured it out by now. You figured out how to get yourself successful and keep yourself going. But as far as a team sport, this is what football is a team sport. I haven't seen him put it together.
Right.
But you have T.Y. Hilton. He's another proven wide receiver who's a speedster. I believe in him. He's gonna make things happen.
Michael Pittman Jr. as well on that receiving core.
Yeah. There you go. Michael Pittman Jr. He's solid. But everything else, man, I really feel like I need to drop them a little bit. We might need to restructure these power rankings a little later. When we do it, we'll see.
Their initial power rankings. We keep doing more and more and more.
Yeah.
Until we get it right.
At 12, I got the Steelers. I like the Steelers at 12. The only reason why I have them, not in the top 10 is because they don't have a number one wide receiver. And I like Juju Smith-Schuster a lot. I like him a lot. I just want you to know that, Juju. I like you a lot. But being a number one receiver is another level of game. If you catch my drift, if you know what I'm saying. Like Juju Smith-Schuster is a great number 2. They need a number 1, but I believe in Ben Roethlisberger. He comes back, he's healthier, he's lighter than before. You got John Connor. I like him. He's a good runner. The defense, you have probably one of the top 10 defenses out there. I like them. I like the Steelers. They seem like they have everything put together, especially with the defense. Bud Dupree, I like him a lot. I actually watched him grow up to be the player that he is now. He went from a small kid to who he is now, and he has a lot of those same core values that I have instilled in me because of course we're both Kentucky guys. But that's another team that I want to see get over the hump, if they can. Number 11, I have the Los Angeles Rams. The reason why I have Los Angeles Rams is because everybody knows that they have arguably one of the best defenses in the NFL. They're a run stopping defense, they're a pass stopping defense. If you can't do any of that, what are you doing? You're punting. Yeah, exactly. You're punting, and that's not a recipe for success. They have everything that you need that you would want to see on paper for a playoff team. But when it comes down to it, and we're talking about their quarterback, Jared Goff, who's not being able to make simple 10-yard out throws to your wide receivers, it's hard. It's hard for me to really get you over the hump. You have everything that you need that's behind you. You have the defense, you have the offense with Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. You gave away Todd Gurley. That kind of blew me off, but you have a supporting committee behind you at running back. I can see it happening, but we're gonna leave you at 11 just to let you fly. Let's see what you
say with me, Chris. Jared Goff isn't good at anything. He is not elite at anything. He's not.
Hey,
that's just who he is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
he is.
but that's who he is.
I'll give it to you. Let's go. Number 10. We're starting off. This is where it gets good at. And I actually got your team there. I actually got your team at number 10, the New England Patriots. And the
Be
reason
careful
why
what you say here, Chris.
It's I'm like, it's 50-50 on and 50-50 off with them. I like the piece that they picked up with Cam Newton. I like that. I like Bill Belichick. I like their defense. I don't like anything else that the Patriots do.
Okay.
I don't. I really don't. Their offense, we're gonna see what we're gonna see what they're gonna do. I believe in Bill Belichick, but I just don't. I don't think that they're gonna be able to swing and really hit for the stars like they really think they are with Cam Newton, because Cam Newton is a different type of player. You know, he likes to put it on his back. He likes to do it himself. So a lot of the times where you're expecting him to throw the ball, he might not throw the ball, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see. It's going to be some growing pains with them, and I honestly want to see Bill Belichick win because I want him to have that stigma over Tom Brady, who you think is the best quarterback ever. I want
Who
everybody
everyone
to
thinks is the best
understand.
quarterback ever. Come on, Chris.
I want everybody to understand that it was because of Bill Belichick.
Now, I am behind that. I am behind giving Bill Belichick his due credit and everything. But there's not even a but behind that. That's just I agree with you. I agree with you. That's all I have to say. I was going to argue, but that's it. I'm going to agree with you on that.
Yeah. But at the same time, you're talking about you have majority of the COVID list is of Patriots players and notable players. Dante Hightower, like you can't have this guy. You can't talk about you have this great defense and you don't have this man on your field.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not going to work.
Sure.
I personally, I'm just going to keep it real with you. I personally do not like Stephon Gilmore. He doesn't look like a game-changing DB to me, although he has made a lot of plays, but that happens when you're in the right fit of a defense, and that's exactly what he's in. But me personally, I don't believe in Stephon Gilmore. You have the McCourty brothers. They're very beatable. I never understood why people were so scared of the Patriots when you got out there. Like, you have to understand what position you are. And for me, I'm on offense, so I don't have to worry about Tom Brady. I'm worrying about the defense. And when I stepped out there on the field with the defense, I wasn't scared. Nobody hit me. Nobody said anything, that ruffled my feathers, anything like that. It didn't do anything like that. And I don't like that about defenses. Like they're quiet. There's not much going on. I don't like that. I like loud,
Granted,
noisy defenses.
you might be biased because you were in the midst of the LOB when you were playing. So let's maybe there's a little asterisk behind that opinion.
Well, I mean, that's not my fault.
It's not your fault, but
yeah,
I cannot believe you just said that about Stephon Gilmore. This is the best cornerback in the NFL. The best cornerback. I will look it up. Look at NFL 100 top list voted by the players. Stephon Gilmore. You might have burnt him. You're also a different type of player when it comes to Stephon Gilmore guarding people. But
yeah,
we'll leave that on the side there. But
yeah,
you're underrating the secondary. This is the best secondary in football.
Not right now. I just told you.
JCJ.
Joe. Dante Hightower
doesn't play cornerback.
But he's your leader.
I said secondary. Stephon Gilmore is the secondary. But he's your
leader. You need a leader. Without Bobby Wagner, Legion of Boom wouldn't have been anything. Like, you needed that. You need that leader. And that's what Dante Hightower is. And he's not there.
Okay. All right. We'll leave it there for now.
9, I have Tennessee. Everybody's hot on Tennessee right now, and I am too. I'm going to ride with them, especially with Derrick Henry. I like Derrick Henry a lot. Their offense is predicated to running the ball, and he is a volume runner. The more you give him, the more he's going to go off. He's like an Energizer bunny. I like him a lot. Tannehill, he's a solid quarterback. He's not going to wow you, with amazing throws and things like that. But you will get a little bit of it because you still have A.J. Brown out there who is coming on to, into his own shoes. He's going to be amazing. I think that they're going to have a great team. I believe I like them a lot. I like their defense. Their defense is solid. Not too much to really say about them. They just need, they need to step up a little bit more in the passing game because I believe last year that they were what were they, like 28th in passing defenses. So they need to get that up and they'll be solid. But I have them at 9 because I'm riding the wave. I like them a lot. I'm on the Derrick Henry train.
I like how you said ride the wave. You're starting to get more into like the swing of things with us. But like I said earlier with the Titans here, no one or their mother is scared of Ryan Tannehill. So when it comes to playoff football, that's when I start to get a little bit more, wishy-washy with it.
Mhm.
Yes, you win the playoffs by running the football. I understand that, but if you can't pass at all, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That is a serious problem. So that remains to be
Facts.
seen if Tennessee can actually get it done when it actually matters.
But you don't have to. But like I said, you don't have to really throw the ball that much to get to be at the top, honestly. And if you're talking about that, there's a couple teams out there that doesn't really throw the ball that much, but they're in the top 5.
Like the 49ers.
But yeah, no, Tennessee solid. I got them at 9.
Okay.
8, I got the Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, with all the stars on the helmet, the stars with the names on their back. They have arguably one of the best offensive lines. They have a great wide receiving core. They have a great defense with an addition that was just added on. That's going to be added on. Dallas looks good on paper, and I'll give them a little bit. When I look at them, I go and I try to follow CeeDee Lamb on on YouTube and look at his highlights of what he's doing in practice and see how he's moving and stuff like that. I like it a lot. Are they going to make it past the first round? I doubt it. I don't think they will.
I doubt it too.
I don't think they will. They have shown time and time again throughout history that they can have everybody there and they all look good and feel good and play good, like Prime used to say. Mm-hmm. But they never make it out the first round. And I feel bad. Because Dak Prescott, he needs to get that payday. I want him to get that payday. I want him to get that $40 million that he's looking for. This is going to be a huge year for him.
If you pay Dak Prescott anything more than $28 million, you're a moron.
I'm just going to say that he needs to work really hard this year. He needs to work really hard this year. I feel for him because he has everything on his back. He has the weight on his back. All of Dallas is staring at him. Not even just Dallas, but the NFL. The NFL is looking at Dak Prescott to see what he does. And if he blows up this year,
you heard it here first.
Exactly.
Stafford and Matthews, episode 1. Hit out of the park already.
But we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Number 7, I got the Bucks. I talk a lot of stuff about this guy, Tom Brady, on how he's, not mobile. He can't throw past 10 yards, but he's smart. He makes good decisions. He's very meticulous when it comes down to what's going to happen and when it needs to happen in the red zone or in the fringe area. He's very smart about things like that. And Mike Evans, you got Chris Godwin, you got all these great players that are out there. OJ Howard, you got all these great people that's out there with you. LaShawn McCoy and just signing Leonard Fournette. He has everything he needs to win a game. And this is my thing that I have against him, and this is why I like Bill Belichick, is because he doesn't have him with him. Or is Tom Brady gonna be able to understand Bruce Arians' offense? Is Bruce Arians gonna understand Tom Brady?
I love that take.
That's what I want to know, because you got to think about the time that he's put in with the Patriots and all the coaches and understanding and cheating, with watching other people's practice films when they're not supposed to be doing that, right. Things like that, deflating the ball, things like that. He's on a whole nother level. Tom Brady's on a whole nother level. Is Bruce Arians going to be able to match that?
I'm with you, but I think Bruce Arians is a really good head coach in general. I think he's a quarterback guru historically, working with some of these great guys.
He is.
And I will say one thing, just like I kind of just putting it out there. If we rewind the clock, say 5 years ago, you give me Tom Brady 5 years ago, give me LaShawn McCoy 5 years ago, I'm betting my mortgage to win Super Bowl. I'm betting my mortgage.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Not even close. It's not even close. If you
Yeah,
give me
but
prime LaShawn McCoy, but he's washed
mhm.
now. I'm going to say I think LaShawn McCoy, I'll go as far as saying he's washed now. But if you give me prime Shady
I wouldn't
McCoy,
say washed. I would say seasoned.
okay, we'll say seasoned. Give me prime
Seasoned.
LaShawn McCoy, prime Shady, and prime Tom Brady. Little sauce right there. Yeah, yeah. But just saying that off the bat, mortgage in Vegas
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not happening. Anyway,
No.
number 6, you got Buffalo.
Buffalo. This is my sleeper right here.
Okay.
The sleeper of the league. Honestly, these guys, I love the defense, and I'm not a defensive guy. Like, I love it. I love it. They just paid their cornerback. What's his name? Give me his name. You got
Tre'Davious
his
White.
name? Yeah, there you go. They just paid him. Great one. That's a great thing to do. You know what I'm saying? They just picked up Stephon Diggs. So them two are going to be battling day in and day out.
Iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron. Thank you. That's what's going to happen with them. They're going to be fighting with each other in the locker room, in the meeting room, in the, outside of the facility, on the practice field. And it's going to be a scary combination for them because you have a lockdown player on defense, and then you have another player who is open 90% of the time on offense. It's scary. How can you mess that up?
Right.
And you have the gunslinger. I'm sorry. You have the gunslinger out here who's, I feel like, is only going to get better. Mm-hmm. He's only going to get better this year. I really was praying that he was going out with Brett Favre's, like you caught him, you caught him practicing with Brett Favre last year. Yeah. Hopefully he did it again this year and honed his skills in even more, because when you have somebody like Stephon Diggs is out there who's only going to make everybody else better, and Singletary that's in your backfield, that's a recipe for success right there.
I agree.
I like that. I like that trio right there.
I think the biggest question mark is the guy you were just describing, is Josh Allen, the gunslinger. And he's the make or break for this team. Like most quarterbacks are for their teams, granted, but especially in this case. Much. Oh, I mean, yeah, but I guess Josh Allen, he is not that smart. And I feel comfortable saying that he is not an intelligent quarterback. And that's scary.
Why would you say that, though?
Let's look at his Wonderlic test. You know when he scored in his Wonderlic?
What did he score?
Wyoming numbers. That's what he scored. He's from Wyoming. He scored Wyoming numbers. And so when you look at it that way,
let's talk about Deion Sanders. What did he get on his Wonderlic?
He didn't take it because he said it wasn't worth his time. Probably.
Exactly.
Yeah,
now,
we're going to compare Deion Sanders to Josh Allen?
Just because he just believed that much into his game, or were you just like, oh no, he needs this is a ploy to get him out of this?
No, I'm going to just stop it right there and say Deion Sanders is not Josh Allen in any comparable sense. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say right off the bat. I'm sorry. I don't like that comparison. But no. I understand what you're trying to say. But I'm not sold on Josh Allen yet. I like him as a base player. I think he's a very effective rusher actually as well. I think he gets the yards he needs to, doesn't get hurt a lot, and he's a big-bodied guy. And he makes people pay when they try to tackle him, which is not a very, it's a very unique trait for a quarterback to kind of,
It's a mix though. It's a mix because it's a lot of the times when he gets out of the pocket, especially when he rolls right, he slides.
Right.
He's a slider when he goes out, when he rolls out to the right. So, he picks and chooses. I think he's a lot smarter than you say, Joe, because he makes decisions. It's just that he was young, he needs to figure it out. He needs somebody there to help him see the truth, and understand the game. And I think that he has figured that out this year, and hopefully he takes another step forward, because the sky is bright. I mean, the sky is bright for him.
Yeah, sky's the limit for him, I think. Coming at number 5, your Seattle Seahawks. A little bit low on the total poll.
I have them at 5 because I'm not sold on the running backs. That's the one thing that I don't really understand from Seattle because that's what they predicate their whole offense to being, and is to run the ball and to have uh people that can take the licks of running the ball.
Mhm.
If you're sitting up there talking about you're running through 4 or 5 running backs, star running backs, I don't. What are you doing?
Well,
Like
so
you need to have a good mix of run and pass, but you have to be reliable. And Chris Carson is a great running back. He's
Mhm.
just not reliable. And then
Right,
you
and I
have
think the reason why they're bringing Carlos Hyde is for that very reason.
exactly. I was just about to say Carlos Hyde is coming in to help out with that, to help mitigate those little injury bugs with him. But is it going to be enough? Are we going to have enough? Are we going to have enough chances for you guys to get off and make a contribution to the offense?
Mhm.
That's the only thing. I see their offense. I see their offensive line. I like their offensive line. Even though they lost the right tackle, I forgot his name. Font, I think that's his name.
Hmm?
Font.
Font?
I forgot his first name.
Noah Font, I know, is the tight end from Denver. I don't know what Font you would have lost in
No,
Seattle.
not Noah Font. No. I forgot his name. But they lost their right tackle. I believe that they have somebody that's going to fill in, and it's going to be whatever. Russell Wilson might be running a little bit more this year than he has the past few years, but he has a great receiving core, which is going to be able to dump it off a little, dump it off a little bit quicker. Have a lot of crossing routes, pick routes, things like that.
Sounds like Super Bowl 49's game plan.
All over again. Nothing's changed. All the coaches changed, but the game plan doesn't change with Seattle. They're going to run the same stuff. Defense is going to be amazing. They're still going to run the cover 3
Mhm.
and let Jamal Adams run amok.
Roam the field.
Yeah.
Roam the field.
Yeah, that's
It's going to be
exactly what's going to
exciting to
happen.
see. Yeah.
He's going to be very exciting to see. I have Seattle in on my fantasy team
Mhm.
or their defense because I
Yep.
believe in them.
Definitely. All right, number
Uh,
4.
Yep, let's go with number 4. Number 4. Number 4 is my old team that I finished with, Baltimore Ravens. I feel like they are very scary. A very scary team with Lamar Jackson leading the company. The only knock that I have on them is the release of Earl Thomas. I don't know how that's going to look without him out there.
Mhm.
But nonetheless, they still have Calais Campbell, who they just signed, Marlon Humphreys, and Matthew Judon, which those are great names to be accompanied with Calais Campbell.
Mhm.
And then you have their offense, which is another offense that doesn't really throw the ball like that per se. You would want to see an NFL team do, but they get it done.
Right.
And I honestly feel like Lamar Jackson is trying to throw the ball even more this year.
Mm.
I would say that. I would say he would throw the ball even more this year. Is he going to have the same numbers as he had last year? Rushing and passing and touchdowns? No, I don't think so.
Mhm.
But I do believe that it's going to be sufficient enough for them to get to the playoffs and go deep.
I mean, I hope you're right because I'm a big Lamar Jackson guy. I like
Mm-hmm.
him personally,
Mm-hmm.
but until I see him win that first playoff game, I'm not going to budge on any of the points I made earlier.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. I just think that with that culture over there of hard work and grit and fire, that's going to go a long way for him, and that plays right into what Lamar Jackson is all about.
Mm-hmm.
They're
I'm with you.
they're gonna get it figured out, and he's gonna lead that way. I guarantee you that. He's a young guy, and he's gonna lead a bunch of grown men to the promised land one day. At number 3, I got the Saints. Saints on paper look amazing.
Mm-hmm.
They signed a guy that I feel like we should have kept. My team should have kept with Emmanuel Sanders, but that's here nor there. They got Emmanuel Sanders. They got Michael Thomas. They got Alvin Kamara, who I feel like is going to have a monster year this year. Drew Brees, who's leading the charge. These guys on offense are going to be stacked. I wouldn't be surprised to see Michael Thomas with 80 plus receptions again. I wouldn't be surprised to see Alvin Kamara go for 1,000 yards rushing again. They just have everything figured out. Sean Payton, he is a genius. You know, he is a genius in that office, and they have that same similar nucleus that Bill Belichick and Tom Brady had. That's what they have. It's just, they're on a different, it's just different levels to it, but they're a good team. I like them.
All right. Give me the percentage of this happening. Alvin Kamara rushes and receives 1,000 receiving yards, 1,000 rushing yards. Give me the odds.
I'm with that. I would give him 75, 80%.
80%?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty high. I mean, it's happened 3 times in NFL history, and that's a very rare feat. But that's a lot of confidence. That's a lot of confidence.
Special guy. No. Like a lot of people are asleep on him because of, he was injured, and they, like I said before, this is a "what have you done for me lately" league. And if you haven't done anything, people are going to be down on you. So it's going to be amazing to see Alvin Kamara come out of the smoke as the lead, as the one of the leading rushers in the NFL. Now, are you going to have to get past Christian McCaffrey? You're going to have to get past Ezekiel Elliott, Saquon Barkley. Is he going to be able to eclipse them? I hope so. We'll see. But I do believe him. He is an elite running back for sure.
I'm with you.
And the Saints have a good chance of going back to the Super Bowl.
Coming at number 2 for you. This might be biased too. I don't know.
You think so?
I don't know.
Number 2, I got the 49ers. And the reason why I got the 49ers at number 2 is because they just came from the Super Bowl. They're hungry. They're mad. And they know that they need a win. We know that we need a win. That's the thing. And with Jimmy G, who you do not like,
I like him. I don't believe in him yet, but I like him.
Okay, that's the same thing to me. But I believe, because my trust is in Jimmy G. He is going to lead the way. He can't just come out of nowhere and be like, he can't just come out of nowhere and just say, hey, I'm going to run what I want to run. I'm going to throw what I want to throw. Like, no, he has to go with what the coach tells him to do. He's still young. He's still learning the system and trying to figure out the nuances between, what's going on between the offense and stuff like that. But I believe that he's going to figure it out. And this is going to be the year that he figures it out.
I hope you're right. Again, I like the 49ers. I like Kyle Shanahan. I like Jimmy G. And I like a lot of what you guys do. But and obviously George Kittle. That's also not saying. We don't have to mention George Kittle. But
no, we got to add him in there. We got to say his name. You have to say his name.
Okay,
because
George Kittle
is the light. He is one of the lights.
No, I agree with you. But again, when I look at teams like the Niners, the Ravens, and the Titans, great teams, great defenses, great run games. But you can't play like that when you're behind. And you saw the perfect example of that in the Super Bowl. That's all I'm going to say. That's how I'm going to leave it.
The thing is that you're right. You can't play like that coming from behind. But if you establish the narrative, which I feel like they won't make the mistake of again this year, we're winning.
I just think it's a hard thing to do.
You can't stop the three big players that we have on our team to make everything go. Like they're undeniable.
Okay. I understand where you're coming from, but I still need to see it for myself. So we'll leave it at
You've seen it.
Really? I saw him lose a Super Bowl. That's what I saw.
I don't see the Patriots. I don't see the Patriots winning. I didn't see them win last year, so
That's
I
why
guess we're both in
that's
the
why they're
same
at
boat, huh?
14. That's why they're at 14.
Yes, we were both in the same boat.
I guess so.
Yeah, and of course, leave it up to them. Nothing changed for them, and they're steaming as usual as a number one team would be, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs at number one.
Mm-hmm.
I like them. I like them, and I don't want to like them, but Patrick Mahomes, he does it for me. He sells it for me. You got Patrick Mahomes, you got Frank Clark on the other side with the Honey Badger to back him up, and then you have Tyreek Hill who's burning past everybody. Like, these guys are literally on offense, a track team running go routes and telling you to stop them.
Yep.
And you can't. You can't.
You can't.
You got the little guy who's jumping over big guys. You got the big guys who's running past the little guys. Like, they have a great team on paper and with the eye. They have everything going for them. The only thing that I could see that would hurt them is injuries. And that doesn't pass up on any of the other 31 teams that I'd have named,
There is one thing you're neglecting, I think, though, and it's that Patrick Mahomes is marrying his girlfriend, and she's a train wreck. That might actually ruin the team. Might be the Kardashian curse.
Oh, my God.
I'm telling you guys, and if you haven't seen this girl, I think Brittany Leanne's her name. Look her up on Instagram. Look her up on social media. Dude, this is the most annoying human being on the planet. It's horrible. And I'm really terrified if they have kids, because that voice of the kid is going to be the mix of Kermit the Frog and like a shrieker. Like, I don't understand how to describe her, but it's that bad. So if you need to look it up, look it up.
Now.
It's
I've never seen this girl before.
That
What's her name?
bad. I think Brittany Leanne. We'll do it after the show.
Brittany Leanne.
Something like that. Suspicious name, if you ask me.
Annoying name.
It is an annoying name. Anyway, before we get out of character here, we're gonna go down for week one. Our picks for week one. Me and Chris will be doing this every single week. Obviously, we had a power ranking special to start for our first episode, but typical we'll do for each episode, we'll break down last week's action, talk about some of the main storylines, then break down next week's action, predictions, stuff like that. So, and starting with this, week one, Thursday Night Football, Texans and the Chiefs. And I'm going to go against the grain here. I'm going with the Texans. So we're going to try to go, rapid fire here, because we actually are approaching almost 2 hours in the show. But let's go rapid fire here. I'm going with the Texans here.
Yeah, I got the Chiefs.
You got the Chiefs. Smart man. Smarter than me. Anyway, we got the Jets at the Bills. I'm going with the Bills. Home field advantage and a better team.
Yeah, Bills, easy call. The defense is gonna hurt them.
100%. We got the Packers at the Vikings. I'm going with the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is on a rampage this year, and I don't see the Vikings stopping him.
No, I'm definitely going. I'm definitely going with the Vikings. I think the fans is going to come in ready to play, and it's going to make a big difference.
Yeah. Not a big fan presence, though, coming into this year. So maybe that kind of ruins the home field advantage.
Oh, yes. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe I need to go with Green Bay.
Let's go with Green Bay.
Let's go with Green Bay.
We got the Eagles at the Washington football team, who desperately need a name. Can you just pick a name already? Just pick a name. Anyway.
Anything.
Anything's better than the Washington football team. Regardless, I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I'm going with the Eagles as well. They have the mindset, and they have the experience. So,
and they have the talent. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. We got the Browns at the Ravens. I was really tempted to pick the Browns here because they actually played typically well against the Ravens, especially in the last couple of years. I'm going with the Ravens, though.
Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens as well. History it always repeats itself. The Browns always look good. They actually play good, and they end up losing the game. So I'm going with the Ravens.
All right. Next up, we got the Colts and the Jaguars. I'm going with the Colts. I think Philip Rivers gets his first win in Indy Blue.
For sure. Colts is definitely going to win.
Definitely. All right. We got the Raiders at the Panthers. I'm going with the Panthers here. I think Teddy Bridgewater comes out in style and throws 4 touchdown passes. That's my bold prediction on that one.
Against the Raiders?
Against the Raiders.
I'm going with the Raiders. I don't believe in that. I don't believe he's going to come out throwing four touchdowns.
4 touchdowns.
No, that's not happening.
All right, we'll see.
I can see him getting 1 or 2.
I'm getting a little clickbaity here with this kind of stuff. All right.
Yeah, I see.
Going in here, we got the Bears at the Lions. I'm going with the Lions. Uncle Matthew leads the Lions to a W.
Yeah, I'm going with the Lions as well. Bears, they need some more help over there, so we'll
Definitely. With the Seahawks at the Falcons. Now remember, the Seahawks walked into their stadium last year and kicked their ass. I'm going
see.
with the Seahawks again.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. I'm not going against the Seahawks. The Seahawks they always prove everybody wrong, and that's kind of their little mantra is to go against the world, go against the grain, and they've been successful with it.
I am praying that we see an open field Todd Gurley versus Jamal Adams matchup. I'm praying for it.
That's gonna be nice for sure.
That'll be nice
I would love
to
see that.
All right, we got the Dolphins at the Patriots. It's the Patriots. I don't want to talk about this anymore. It's the Patriots.
Yeah, easy call, Patriots.
Easy call. We got the Chargers at the Bengals. This is the 4:00 start now. I'm going with the Bengals here. I think Joe Burrow comes out hot. I think Joe Mixon has a phenomenal game. I think the Bengals pull it out.
I'm going with the Chargers. Chargers is on a high note right now. Everybody's feeling good, of course. So I'm sticking with the Chargers.
All right. We have the Cardinals at the 49ers. You're going to hate this. Kyler Murray beats the 49ers last seconds.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Watch it happen then. 425. Fox.
Yeah, okay. We'll see. You already know. I'm going with the Niners.
All right. We got the Bucks at the Saints. This is a must-watch television. I cannot wait to watch this game.
Absolutely.
I'm going with the Bucks because there's no home field advantage for Drew Brees now. Yeah, he's in the dome, but he has no crowd noise. Tom Brady walks in and makes a statement win week 1.
I think I'm gonna go with the Saints. I like the Saints. I like and they're home. They're home, right?
The Saints are home.
Yeah, I like the Saints. You can't just walk in there and think that you're going to take over Drew Brees' home. That's not going to happen. So I don't know. The Saints is going to take it all.
I don't think it's his home without the fans there, so we'll see. We have the 8:20 game starting up now. We have the Cowboys and the Rams. I'm going with the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys make a statement win here. The Rams defense, like we said, is dominant. How deep is it, though? You have CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and Amari Cooper. You can't guard 3 number 1 receivers. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, I mean, but when you have Aaron Donald that's sitting in the middle of your line and is obstructing the view of your quarterback who can't really see over the line, Dak Prescott's going to be running a lot, and we know that he's not that fast. So you're ready. I'm going with the Rams.
All right. And we have the Steelers at the Giants. I'm going with the Steelers. The defense stifles Daniel Jones in his sophomore debut.
Steelers, yeah, I'm going with the Steelers as well. That's not a hard pick.
Yeah. And then we have the final game of the docket, Titans at the Broncos. And I'm going with the underdog. I'm going with the Denver Broncos because I believe in Drew Lock. I think he comes out firing. I think he comes out slinging. And they're home. The only home field advantage, I think, this year is in Denver because of high altitude.
Yeah.
So I'm going with the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm like I said before, I'm riding the wave. I'm going with Derrick Henry. He's gonna run right through them. Probably not in the direction of Von Miller, but they're going to be running for sure.
That's a bad business decision. That's all I'm going to say. That is a bad business decision. All right, Chris, this wraps up the first episode of Stafford and Matthews. Wow. Guys, first of all, thank you for tuning in and listening to us. We appreciate it so much. The love is real. Can't wait till next week. You actually have some guests coming on the next couple of weeks. We're not going to release it just yet. We're going to let you guys sit on that for a little bit. Yeah, we'll announce it in the coming weeks.
Let them think about this.
Let them think about it a little bit. But just remember, Chris was in the NFL for a while. So just keep that in mind. Some of his former teammates, maybe. We'll see. Anyway, this has been Stafford and Matthews, episode 1. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
All right now.